And clap. Welcome back to Parenting Without a License.
Sorry.
Today I'm drinking the same kopi we had, coffee, the last time we had. But today we want to ask for sponsor from Kinder Bueno. Hey, so if you're watching Kinder, let us know. Chocolate. The children love it. They love the chocolate eggs. They love the chocolate eggs. So yeah, so today on Parenting Without a License, topic is, excuse me while I open this. Topic is what?
Me time. Why is it important? What is me time and why we must always have me time?
Okay, wait, don't be noisy. Alright. So yeah, me time, you time, me time, our time, her time, my time. It's just time, right? At the end of the day. So what's so important about me time?
So before you go into a relationship, when you are single, you have the time is yours, right? For you to do your own thing, for you to basically be yourself. But when you so then when you get into a relationship, you have less me time, right? Because you're spending more time together, and sometimes you actually lose your identity because you become like, oh, I am part of this couple. Like, we are a couple, you lose your sense of self. And once you become parents, you'll become mommy. Or just then you don't have anything else that is you before you have kids. So that's why me time is very important for you to get back that the sense of individuality that you had before you had kids.
Oh, you keep talking and eating.
So yeah, then that's why it's very important. It helps you decompress, be yourself, like for you to do the thing that you want to do, because sometimes you want to do like yoga and you don't want to have kids climbing all over you. It's very distracting. So I'm like, I lost my train of thought.
Anyway, talking about me time. Before we go too deep into me time, Kinder Bueno. I mean, this thing has been around for years and years and years and years and years. It's a chocolate. If you don't know what this is, it's a chocolate covered wafer filled with hazelnut cream.
Yes.
Yeah. See, Kinder, send me more. And these have been around for so long. In my opinion, it hits all the flavor centers, right? It hits your sweet, it hits your crispy, it hits the lemakness of the hazelnut cream. If you don't know what lemak is, you'll put up a definition somewhere floating around here. And it goes really well with coffee. We always take coffee without sugar, and so it's got a nice balance to the coffee and the chocolate. And so let me feed her one first. And so me time. I mean, somebody once asked me a long time ago, who are you? Strip away everything around you. Who are you? Right? Take away your spouse, take away your kids, take away your job. Who are you? And for a lot of people, I've come to realize their identity, their self-identity is so wrapped up and so dependent on an external factor. Like, for example, I have friends who are financial advisors, and I'm like, okay, if I take away that insurance company you're working for, who are you? They're like, they suddenly become a seal. Kidding. And I've struggled with that question for the longest time in my life. Somebody asked me this easily 7 years ago, and that somebody is still very much alive. I very much love him for asking me that really tough question to answer. And if this doesn't go into become a career talk or a self-development thing, it's probably for the best. But who am I? Right? Who am I? We wear many hats throughout our lives, and right now I just so happen to be wearing the father, husband, entrepreneur hat. But strip away everything. What really identifies me? Or in this case, you. What really identifies you? And I don't mean what do you identify as? Apache helicopter, super straight.
So I struggle with that all the time because I'm a mother first, a wife second, sadly.
You were a wife first, then you became a mother.
I know, but like the kids are like the center of my.
But I was the center of the universe.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Oh, and on camera too.
Yeah. So yeah, I struggle with the identity part. Like who am I? So that's why the me time is really important because it helps me go back to who that person is. Like I stopped doing a lot of things that I like because I just basically don't have time for it anymore.
Or you just don't like it anymore.
That is also very true.
Right? I remember you had quite a few hobbies and then you met me. So you stopped doing those hobbies, you started doing me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean back to self-identity, right? And I'd like to think of it in this way. For me, my self-identity revolves around my interests, what I'm good at, what I strive to be better at, what I can provide to the world, and not just in a career or entrepreneurial job kind of thing, but who really am I? And over the years, some of the answers that have come up, I'm an avid gamer. I like playing video games, and that gives me enjoyment that isn't dependent on anything else. Just give me some time, I'll play video games. I love tinkering in the kitchen. Cooking stuff for people, for my family, for my wife, for friends. I like cooking for people. I don't like cooking for myself. And frankly, if you ask me, the process of cooking, minimal effort, maximum result. So I'm not really fussed about the actual process of cooking. So what am I? Yeah, fuss-free food is a thing, by the way. It is a thing, so watch out for fuss-free food. Anyway, when it comes to that, so when it comes to things in the kitchen, right? There's a big difference between somebody who cooks, and they're a cook or a chef, versus somebody who cooks for other people and likes to host. Does that mean I'm an entertainer? Like, I like hosting people coming over to my house, I cook for them. And how does that all fall into my self-identity? And so it's a question that is, again, still very much in the process of being answered. I have multiple answers to it. Do you want me to carry on? I can go on.
Because I'm not sure what else to add because.
Okay,
yeah.
so here let's go on. A little bit about
Because I
me.
think we're going off
No, me time. It goes back to me time. So how do we solidify me time? Right? You've got to think about your identity first. Then we go into me time. Because if we do not have an identity, me time becomes meaningless. Right? Because you end up doing stuff that doesn't add value to you, doesn't make you happy, doesn't, and it's raining, so we're gonna so where was I? So gotta answer who you are first, because the danger then becomes, if I take time for myself, I end up wasting that time. And I don't mean like doing unproductive tasks like video gaming. To me, I struggle with it because on one part I think it's a waste of time for me, but yet I enjoy it. So Mark Twain said this: time that you spent on things that you enjoy are never wasted. Right? And so back to that. Who am I? Right? You want to make me time meaningful. And so when I take my me time to recharge, to find myself, to do stuff that I actually really, really want, I end up invariably doing the same few things that I absolutely enjoy. Like video gaming, cooking, reading, playing with the kids is sometimes considered me time. Sometimes even reading up about my work, right? Things, because I'm in personal finance. I teach people how to manage money, and getting information, getting skills with regard to that particular part of my career, for me, constitutes me time. It just so happens that everything falls in together. That my me time does involve my career and involve my family, simply because I'm blessed that I have all that. So what does me time mean to you?
For me, it's time for me to be alone, to do the things that I want without any distractions, without any interruptions, just basically time of my own, just to recharge, to do things that I want to do. Like when I was working out of the house, right? So I was working on site. Lunchtime is my me time. Me time to catch up on my readings.
Until I come over and bother you on lunchtime.
Yes, well that's different. That's different. That is couple time. This is me time. Is like so. I don't really like socializing during lunch because I just want to sit down, read my book, eat my food, listen to my music, and like not be disturbed because it's just my me time for me to be alone in my thoughts and my book, and that's it. So, but now that I'm working from home, I don't have that much me time because I'm always with somebody who likes to interrupt when I'm doing stuff.
I don't like to interrupt. I just do it unconsciously because,
I'm here.
yeah, simple as that. When you're just working literally across from me and I need a quick opinion there and then. So guess who I ask? She's my first victim all the time. I like sticking brown things down her.
Yeah. And so I actually have to carve that me time into the day. And that's why I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning when everybody else is still asleep, the house is quiet, except for the cat because the cat wakes up at 6 the moment she hears me get out of bed.
And meows all the time.
And once she's fed, she's fine. So then that's when I use that time to do yoga, to sit down and play my games if I want to, read stuff, catch up on my social media, whatever little I have of it. And yeah, so that is my me time. I actually make an effort to have some me time. And time for me to actually catch up on like writing like the things that I want to write. That is not related to work. Because I try not to do that during work hours because work hours are work.
Okay, I'm so sure.
Yeah. So me time is something that you need to put into your day or like a week. So you actually have to consciously make an effort to put it into your life. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna just lose yourself, your self-identity.
So, at the end of the day, right, we are not our job, we are not our children, we are not our hobbies. We are who we are, yes, but ultimately, we are, in my opinion, spiritual energy beings, right? And it's going to go a bit deeper into that. But ultimately, we have to find things that fulfill us on a visceral level. And I do mean that in the deepest possible sense. Like, if you say, what does fulfillment mean? Some people will say, having $1 million fulfills me. Or some will say, having many children fulfill me. Or some will say, being the champion at whatever sport, whether physical or e-sport you want to do, fulfills you, right? But I think doing the little things that we absolutely enjoy, that I absolutely enjoy, that keeps me sane, that makes me hunger for life, that fulfills me. And it can be any number of things. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. When we take out the kids to the playground and I chase them around like the big kid that I am, and we play tag and catching and all that, that fulfills me for that period of time. And then when I need alone time, I to play video games, that fulfills me for a bit too. When I cook for people and I socialize with people, that fulfills me a little bit too. And so it's a matter of finding out what fulfills me and then finding outlets or opportunities to indulge in that fulfillment. I mean, if your job fulfills you and you're 100% at work, more power to you, fantastic. If raising children and 24/7 fulfills you, go ahead. Again, more power to you, and nothing wrong with that because you found what fulfills you. And today, what I hope to at least spark for the people out there, if you're watching this, is what fulfills you.
Because life isn't just about existing. What's the point of living life if it's just existing? Because there's more to life than just exist.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's definitely not about being, materialistic or, having a Lamborghini fulfills me. If that does, fine. Entirely up to you. At least you found it. But we've got to be sure that whatever activities we partake in, because does fulfill us. Because ultimately, the one currency nobody has enough of is
Time.
time. You don't want to be one day on your deathbed and saying, "Oh man,
I wish I'd done this and this. Whatever, you know?
I wish." You know, there was one scene in this TV show called Scrubs. If anybody ever watched it, where I can't remember which episode, but it was the old lady who had told the main character JD and she said, "I'm ready to die." And JD being, young and idealistic, optimistic, just is horrified. Like, you can't just die, you can't just die. And he comes up. So, okay, we're going to sit down and come up with a list of things that you might want to do. And he literally sits down with her and starts writing off. And she just says, yep, done that. Multiple languages, done that. Climb Everest, done that. Seen this, done that. And she's just ticked off her bucket list one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And she says, I'm ready to die. No. And so how many of us out there can actually say, I spend my time in a meaningful, fulfilling way, such that when it is time for me to go, I can safely say I'm ready to go.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Regrets, yes.
Regrets.
No regrets.
Regrets. What show was that? We Are the Millers. That was a fun movie. And so yeah, Hollywood, if you want to sponsor us. But yeah, ultimately, me time for me, involves very few things. I like to tell I'm a very simple man.
Very difficult to use.
Yeah, all I need is some good food, good company, good movies, good video games. I'm done. What does me time mean to you now?
For me, now, a break from the kids and a break from you. Yeah. So it's like my me time has always been just about me being alone with my thoughts so that I can process it, because sometimes so my therapist had previously said that I am very good at compartmentalizing, so I don't feel emotions. So my emotions and my brain don't connect very well, or they just basically they exist on separate planes. So yeah, so basically that is the time that I would think about things, think it through, think about just write it down. It's a really great time to journal if anybody does that. So yeah, so it's just a way for me to process everything that's in my head, because I think a lot.
Yeah. So, are any of you out there like her, where me time is just thinking time? On that note, being of the male persuasion, we have what we call the nothing box, where we just pull it out and just play with it. And like, what are you thinking of? Nothing. What are you doing? Nothing. Want to do something? No. What are you up to? Nothing. So the nothing box. So fun. So let us know in the comments below what are some of the things that you do, for me time for yourself. Can be anything from, I don't know, watching TV,
Yoga, even just basically it's
crocheting,
some knitting thing.
cooking.
Yeah, so whatever you do in your free time, or what you term as me time, which is also self-care, by the way, because I know that most mothers tend to not take care of themselves because they tend to give everything to the family and they don't have anything left for themselves. So me time can also be considered self-care for yourself, and it's not not anything like about eating or taking a shower, because those are things that you need. But self-care is more of having time to recover from everything that you do as a parent.
Mentally and emotionally. Physically should go with physically should be obvious.
Yeah.
Right? That you need, food, sleep, exercise. That's the bare minimum.
Yeah. So,
Right.
but yeah, so it's self-care. So to take care of yourself, you need to take some me time for yourself.
Doubts.
Even if you're single.
I would argue that when you are single, take as much me time as you can to discover yourself, to discover your identity, to discover who you are. Because some of my earlier relationships, I was defined by that relationship, who who are you? That, oh, I'm her boyfriend. I simply exist because I'm dating her, and I think that is not right, because you are who you are,
and you're not defined by any relationship that you are in, who you're in a relationship with, or your work. It's just you.
don't. You are the sum total of all your experiences, or so some philosophers have said. I would argue you are your experiences, your skills, your values, your thoughts, your emotions, what people think of you as well. So on that note, if somebody tells you, oh, you're an awesome person, now it goes both ways. Are you validated by that, or do you hold on to that and say, yes, I'm a good person only because that person says so? And so we have to be very comfortable with who we are. And I know this conversation can go very, very deep. Not gonna do that today. So ultimately, folks, if you do not have a self-identity, me time is critical to being able to find that self-identity.
Yep. So
This is episode
5.
Wow, episode 5 of Parenting Without a License. This is Afiq.
And Lina.
And that's how we close with a